welcome to Midnight Slumber. I am your host, Zach Miller. Join me as we take a journey through the alternate realities that take place after midnight. The story for this episode deals with an everyday occurrence that meets a new problem. Rush hour is annoying, but what happens when people's lives are on the line? Enjoy the story called A Broken Bridge. The heat blares through my car's window as the sun slams its bright rays into my eyes. I lower my visor and turn up the air conditioning to keep from sweating. Even my leather steering wheel feels like it is starting to melt. The cold air clashes with the heat, making my car uneasy. My dad reaches his hand forward from the back seat and smacks it multiple times against my car's dash. The air conditioning rattles from each hit until it finally kicks on at full force. Our car is immediately filled with cool, refreshing air. My dad leans back in his seat and sighs with relief. In the passenger seat sits my girlfriend, and she has a surprised look on her face. She chuckles at how my dad managed to get the air conditioning to work and relaxes her shoulders as the cool air falls upon her. Loud honking from behind us startles me. My dad laughs at the fact that I am surprised by this. But he is right to laugh. We have been sitting in this bumper-to-bumper traffic for a few hours now. People have been honking every few minutes, and it doesn't seem to be letting up. I guess I was just surprised that the person behind us decided to join in. We are stuck on the main highway's bridge, trying to get over to the island ahead of us to take my dad back to his house. It's a new highway, not very large, it is only 4 lanes wide, but it is bigger than anything we've had here before, and still, it isn't able to handle this city's traffic flow. You would think for such a small island, not that many people would live here. However, with the new installation of the hotel and townhomes, they didn't plan for this much influx. My dad starts to laugh, and my girlfriend follows when my dad says,
Man, that guy is really digging for some gold.
I look into my rearview mirror to find out where he is gazing. He's staring at the car to our right. Glancing over, I expect to see someone picking their nose. But there is a guy digging for treasure. He is in the back of his blue pickup truck with a shovel, digging through a pile of sand in his truck bed. We watch this man dressed in an extravagant navy suit dig for a few minutes before he stops. He sets his rusted shovel off to the side and reaches down into the sand to pull out a small wooden chest. Grabbing his shovel, he wrenches it back high above his head and slams it down on the tiny golden lock. The lock shears clean off, and he takes a moment to catch his breath as he slowly kneels. As he opens the chest, the inside of it glows even in this bright sun. Smiling with a grin that reaches from ear to ear, he reaches in, pulls out a chilled bottle of water, and immediately guzzles it down.
Well, that was fun,
the guy says as he climbs back into his pickup truck through the back window. As he sits down, pleased with himself, he sees us staring at him. The man slowly rolls his window down to speak to us and says,
Sorry, folks. There is only one bottle in there.
I smile and wave as I turn my attention away, which it's hard not to laugh at what I just saw. I don't want to embarrass the man as he was polite to us, but that was the weirdest thing I have ever seen during rush hour.
Hey, check that car out,
my girlfriend says as she points to the car next to us. I stand corrected at that last statement. She points to a bright gold car with a hammock attached to its top. The hammock is suspended between 2 small palm trees growing out of the car's trunk and hood. Monkeys of all varieties are swinging and hanging out in this hammock. Even the vehicle's driver is a monkey, a big red orangutan. The gold car begins to move forward slowly. I look at my lane and the other lanes around us, and only the far left and far right lane are starting to move. These two middle lanes are doing absolutely nothing. The lane to my left starts to pick up speed, so I maneuver our way into that lane, and it feels great getting to move again. We pass by many cars that have been sitting in this traffic longer than us, and it makes me feel like we are cheating. My dad and girlfriend are happy to be moving along, and so am I, but I know something is off about this. One weird thing about this lane is that it is bumpier, as if it hasn't been paved in a while. Again, this is a new bridge, so every lane should be the same. The cars next to us start to get taller as we continue moving. It's not till we have traveled a few hundred feet that I realize the lane we are in is going down. We are now eye level with the roadway, and I can see that this lane has sheared off. This decline isn't intentional. As we continue to travel down this path, I can see the bridge's underside. Thick beams of bronze metal run across the bottom in a beautiful pattern. Colorful birds of all kinds are perched underneath, claiming space to the bridge's different sections. My girlfriend is mesmerized by how pretty the underside of this bridge is. Even my dad, who usually doesn't comment on things of this nature, mentions how incredible the craftsmanship is. I continue to look across the bridge's underside and notice the far right lane has also begun to dip below, just like our lane. I follow the cars on that path and watch as they go careening off into the crystal blue water down below. Their lane is damaged, and I can see the thing that has destroyed their road. An enormous orange and white striped fish flops up out of the water to devour the falling vehicles. The fish has sharp teeth and resembles a piranha the size of a 2-story house. Smaller versions, children maybe, surround the giant fish, ripping and tearing apart any vehicle that the bigger fish misses. Our lane's traffic begins to slow down at the sight of this. We are now at such a steep angle that I can see our pathway is damaged too. Cars are slamming on their brakes, but many continue to fall off as they can't stop in time. My car comes screeching to a halt as it reaches the edge of the broken road. We can now see what is truly in front of us. Below is an even bigger fish than the previous one. The water is deep, and this creature is too big to jump out. It just rests with its mouth wide open. The sharp teeth protruding out from the water look like a submerged football stadium filled with people. As the creature breathes, it causes waves to occur all around it, creating a turbulent whirlpool. My dad points out how the traffic behind us has stopped, which I am very thankful for as I was expecting someone to rear-end us off this bridge. He says we might be able to turn around as there is some space behind us and to the left of us. My girlfriend grabs my hand and looks at me with her deep green eyes, telling me to take it slow. My hand nervously puts the car into reverse, and the bridge moans with the violent shifting of gears. My foot, which feels like it weighs a ton, gently presses against the gas, causing us to slowly back up. Our car's back bumper comes dangerously close to the car behind us. I stop and start to turn the car slowly. Performing what feels like a 1,000,000-point turn, my nerves are on high alert. With such little space to maneuver, I can only move inches at a time. As I get the car fully turned sideways, I start to inch back a bit for the next turn when the bridge cracks and shifts again. Everything falls a few feet and knocks my car's back end off the bridge. Orange, slimy tentacles have wrapped themselves around the pillars and wires holding this bridge up. The orange fish down below is angry that the flow of food has stopped. Thankfully, my car has all-wheel drive, and I can get the car's tires to catch and pull us up. The drop was actually helpful for us, as it gave me the extra room I needed to get this car fully turned around. We take off, heading back against the traffic and down the narrow pull-off lane. My dad and girlfriend roll their windows down and shout out of them to tell everyone to turn back and warn them of the dangers ahead. The people in our lane begin to do the same. They try to turn around and warn others of what's going on. For those that can't, they start running for their lives. We drive off, back into the city, hoping we can get the military to intervene in time. Thank you for listening to tonight's episode. Please leave a comment and check out our social media on Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. We would love to hear your thoughts on tonight's episode. I'm your host, Zach Miller, and thanks for listening. Have a good midnight slumber.